All right, so our recording has just started. Good morning, everyone, and I'm pleased to welcome you to our Ho Ho Hope for 21 Entrepreneur Coffee Break. We know it's been quite a challenging year, but we wanted to do a little bit of celebration here on the end of the year and look forward to the next. I'm joining you from the beautiful community of Pasadena, Newfoundland and Labrador on the West Coast, from the unceded territory of the Beothuk, recognizing also the Indigenous folks in our province, the Mi'kmaq, Inuit, and Innu. And I ask you to take a moment to think about the territories that you're joining us from. And thank you, Megan, for welcoming us earlier in Mi'kmaq. We are going to do a couple little discussions, but first, before we get into too much of our discussion for today, Allison's got a few exciting things she wants to share with us on behalf of Navigate. So Allison, your presentation's up. I'll take that away.
Okay. Welcome, everyone. I see a lot of familiar faces and a few new ones here today. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time, we usually start with just a little introduction of Navigate so people know about our services. So my name is Allison Rowe. I'm the Navigate manager. So a lot of you may be wondering, what is Navigate? So it's a partnership between Grenfell campus and the Corner Brook College of the North Atlantic campus. And we help entrepreneurs from the very early startup stages, from ideation, you have a business idea, onward through to prototype and product development or service development. And then we help with commercialization and launch of your business as well, and with business planning. And we have 3 different service pillars to help with that. So the Entrepreneurship Center, which is located on both the Grenfell campus and CNA campus. It's open to students of both campuses and to local entrepreneurs on the west coast of Newfoundland. And that's for the very early stages of entrepreneurship. We have a makerspace where you can come in and develop your prototypes and work on designs and work with other makers to develop products. And then we have a business incubator. When you're ready to launch, you can apply to be one of our resident companies. We have 3 offices for resident companies, and we also have a co-working space where you can come and work for free. And I should mention that while those spaces are currently physically closed, we're still serving people remotely in the meantime. And I'm very hopeful that, with the new vaccines that are rolling out, that we'll be able to open our doors sooner rather than later. So today we wanted to focus a little bit on the not just the trials and tribulations of 2020, but also lessons learned and hope for 2021. And I think again with the vaccine, we all got a bit of an early Christmas present this year. So I think we can all look forward to a much better year next year.
Allison, can I jump in for a second here? Yes. I saw something recently, because I think the message we're trying to do is the Ho Ho Hope, right? And kind of going through. And Brene Brown, some of you may be familiar with her as a speaker and author, had a post up on LinkedIn recently that said, whenever she gets people together, she does a 2-word check-in. And so what are 2 words that you're feeling today? And so I wonder if folks would be interested in popping over in chat and just typing, what are 2 things you're feeling today? I'll kick it off that I'm feeling gratitude and excitement. I'm very grateful for the partnership that Allison and I have had this year with our coffee breaks, and for all of you that attend our events. And I got to tell you, I'm the biggest kid, so Christmas is coming, and I'm so excited. so those are my 2 feelings. But if anybody's interested, kind of to put some background thought into the end of the year and the new year, if you want, pop it over in chat, and we'll talk about that a bit later as well, if you wish. All right, Allison, your news now. You've got some stuff to tell us about.
So normally we'd show this at the end of the coffee break, but I know that a lot of people are busy and have to hop on and hop off. So I'm going to just do this briefly at the front end of our discussion today. But a little bit of news. So the Small Business Assistance Program that the provincial government has on offer has been extended to December 22nd. So anyone who is who owns a small business or nonprofit can apply for one-time non-repayable contributions to help provide some relief to the impacts of COVID-19. So if you haven't applied already, please do check it out. It's a great program for helping get you past the hump and into a much better 2021. Another bit of news is that Navigate will be launching an entrepreneur internship program in January, and that will be for students of Grenfell campus and CNA campus, and they'll be able to receive financial assistance while working on their business idea and being, immersed in a startup environment with mentorship and access to all the tools they need. One other thing I'd like to mention for news is the Genesis Evolution program is now open for applications for their January 2021 cohort. And that 8-week intensive program is really fantastic for anyone who's starting up a business. It's normally open to technology startups. That said, they've broadened the scope a little bit of that. So anything that, any company that has a bit of a technology focus, you should still apply, and that could be anything from, the marketing and digitization side of things. If you're interested, let me know, and I'll connect you to the folks because we're working in partnership with them.
Allison, is that open for folks outside of St. John's then?
Yes. It used to be in person, but now with COVID, everything's gone online. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Excellent.
And for anyone who's unfamiliar with Genesis, you probably heard about the multi-billion-dollar deal with Verafin. They went through the Genesis program, so obviously these folks are very skilled at what they do. And then a few upcoming events that I'll just mention now, and we'll be following up with emails to everybody as well, just to let you know more details. So January, first week of January, we're thinking the 6th. I'm still pinning down the date. We're going to have a presentation just about sort of New Year's resolutions and a focus on wellness for entrepreneurs and healthy habits for 2021, and that'll be with Allison Butler Consulting. We're going to be launching the new Navigate website as well, and I'm really excited about this because there are going to be a lot of great tools and things that people can use. There's going to be an interactive entrepreneur ecosystem map. So all the different support organizations, funding organizations, et cetera, that are out there to help small businesses and entrepreneurs will be on that map, and you can kind of scroll over, see what they offer, and then it'll link you to each of their websites. We're also going to have a full-fledged toolkit linking you to all the resources you could possibly need to start, scale up your business. And there's also going to be a section on the companies we serve, and that's going to be sort of twofold. On the one side, we want to help promote companies that are connected to Navigate, and on the other side, it's going to be an online business directory for local businesses in Western Newfoundland. So I encourage anyone who would like to have their business featured. It's basically going to go show blocks with the logos of everybody's business. You click on it, you go in, and there's going to be a little description of what your business is and all the links to, website, social media, contact information, etc. So if you'd like to appear on that, please let me know, and we can add you. Our next Entrepreneur Ecosystem coffee break, which will be focusing on new businesses that have just started up. We want to promote new businesses, is going to be on January 15th. And then on January 27th, we're going to be holding a health innovation and entrepreneurship forum with Bounce Health Innovation. And that will basically, we'll have sort of 3 areas of focus to it, but advances in innovation and entrepreneurship in the healthcare sector, in the health and wellness sector, and also in pharmaceuticals, nutraceuticals, and health-related areas. So we're going to have a number of interesting folks who will be presenting and speaking, and then we're going to be having little mini breakout sessions where we get everybody's feedback and input on ways that we can improve and expand health innovation and entrepreneurship in the province. And that's really open to anyone, not just people with a health focus. It's all about applying an entrepreneurial mindset to health problems.
Excellent.
And then we'll get to today's business. So I'll let Carol take it from here.
Okay. So again, as I mentioned, we're looking at, it's been a challenging year for all of us for many reasons. I think not just the pandemic. I think there's been a lot of economic ups and downs. There's been weather all over the world impacting things and so on. So we wanted to sort of do a little bit of a recap of 2020? What are some of the challenges that you faced? What have you learned? And again, that hope for the future. And so we want to ask you folks to share and kind of inspire all of us on moving forward and so on. So who would like to jump in first and tell us, first of all, a bit more about who you are and what you've been doing and what are some of the challenges that you faced and how did you overcome them? Anyone
I
want to
can
go
start.
first? Okay, thanks, Jeanette.
My name's Jeanette. I'm with Canadian First Aid and Safety Training. So I do certified first aid courses for individuals, for companies, for businesses. I also do leadership courses to teach people to become instructors and offer recertification courses for those instructors. I'm heavily linked with Red Cross. I'm a training partner of Red Cross, and I'm also very involved with their disaster management program. And part of my business as well is assisting with emergency preparedness. So what has happened over the last year? Well, I stopped teaching as of March 15th. And we were actually one of the first groups that were asked to come back May 11th. We're safety training people. So we started with the restrictions of 9 people plus myself, social distancing, disinfecting, PPEs, all of those things are now required for the courses. So a couple of challenges with that, additional cost, additional time. My locations that I normally teach in, where I could teach 18 people, that's the max for Red Cross, is the limit. I now need to limit. So the location itself was not going to open until mid-July because it was a church basement and there were a number of people and they didn't meet the restriction numbers and whatever. So they didn't open till mid-July. So I had to find other locations to teach in. It started with if you really, really needed it, absolutely, one-on-one or two-on-one in my basement. It then went to, I rented a location in Corner Brook, a very large boardroom, and the tables were 6-foot tables and they had legs or wheels, sorry, so I could move them, social distancing, and made sure I could fit 6 people. So my limit started at 6 and then worked up to 9. Um, Everything I did as far as my activities were, they're very engaging activities. So it could be passing around cards, matching, headers with subjects, those kinds of things, matching games and Pictionary and that kind of thing. So we would pass around pen and paper. Well, that stopped. So every activity I had, I laminated so I could disinfect, and everybody had to have their own one-way valve for doing their CPR piece. So that was an additional cost and things like that. So things changed quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Got back into my location mid-July. September and October were very, very busy. August, September, and October, because people were given extensions for 3 months to do their first aid, and so it was very, very busy. November, very, very slow. People were afraid to come out. People are, I think that could have been the reason it got really slow. We had a little bit of a cluster in Deer Lake and Corner Brook, and so I think it really affected people's willingness to come out.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing courses then, like 3 a week, 3 people a week for the last maybe 3-4 weeks. So it's really slowed down quite a bit. So I actually have taken a break. I'm doing some leadership courses. They are being offered online. They're 4-hour courses. Only the first aid instructor recert is able to do online. So I'm doing a little bit of that. So getting into that end of things where I did not do any Zoom teaching before, I'm now doing some Zoom teaching. So those things have really changed. Some of those things have really changed as far as, how we do it, when we do it, where we do it.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we're meeting all restrictions, all, requirements through Workplace NL, through Red Cross, to ensure everybody is safe. So, and that's really important for us, to ensure everybody is safe while they're getting their training. And so, yeah, things have changed considerably.
Yeah, for sure. I was
Yeah.
just thinking the additional cost too of like all the disinfecting and the
Yeah.
equipment and all those things had to be a burden for you.
Yeah. Masks, gloves, one-way valves. And I just got an email today, new standards for Red Cross starting May 31st. Every person needs to have their own pocket mask now.
Oh, okay.
So either they're going to purchase it from me, I need to add that cost in, or they can bring it themselves.
Hmm.
So that's going to change things up a little bit in the future. But again, ensuring people are safe, it's going to change things, for cost-wise for sure, that
Hmm.
each person needs to bring their own pocket mask with them now, or purchase a pocket mask. But that's a standard, so I'm assuming it should be the same for any agency that's offering first aid.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I'm
So
glad you
some changes.
persevered and you're still there and you're still
Oh yeah.
trucking along, and
Oh yeah.
that,
Yeah.
that's great to
Absolutely.
hear.
Yeah.
If I can interject for one moment, if everybody, as we're speaking here, if you could take a moment to put down your business information in the chat section, we'll be sharing that out. Any contact information, just a little blurb about what you do, we can share that out in our next newsletter. And again, I can also include it on our website coming out in our business directory if you're interested. So just to in the interest of time, I encourage anyone who would like that to put the information in the side there, and we'll follow up with that.
Perfect.
And thank you,
Excellent.
Jeanette. That you've obviously had a lot of challenges you had to overcome. I mean, yeah, the whole safety and PPE thing would be huge in first aid for sure.
Yeah. It's
I think
good
it's
though. I mean, it's all going.
Yeah, and I think it's encouraging that, to me, you're living your value. You're a safety company, like you're teaching safety. So to be able to model and incorporate that in real time, to me shows, I think your participants would trust even more to see that reflected so strongly, right? In how you're delivering your services and so on, because that would make sense, right?
Absolutely.
Jeanette, can you hear me?
Yep, we can
Yes.
hear you,
Oh,
Daphne.
good. Finally. Sorry, I had some challenges here. I'm using my computer, my iPad. Jeanette, I'd like to have a conversation with you if you don't mind. If I can get your number later, I'd like to talk to you. If that's okay.
Absolutely. I'll put that in the chat.
Please. And Allison, what do you just want the company name in the chat?
The company name, description, if you have a website or any social media links you'd like to add,
Okay.
or any contact info that we'd be free to share. Basically, it's for the purpose of promoting your business.
And to do it to everyone, right? Because you have everyone organizer, so you'd like that to everyone?
Yes, or if you'd rather share it privately, that's fine as well.
No, that's good. That's good. No, that's good. Okay. Thank you. I'll do that in a few minutes. Thank you.
And part of one of the intents of the coffee break is for businesses and entrepreneurs to get to know each other as well, and then
Right.
help promote others' businesses, right? So,
Right.
so the next person you talk to, you might go, oh, I met this lady. She does first aid. She can do that for you. Right?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Excellent.
Excellent. Thank you. Megan, do you want to go next?
Sure. Sorry, I was muted there.
That's okay.
Kwei. I'm Megan. I'm a Mi'kmaq crafts person in Cadre Valley, or Gadalisibu. I have a small business called Live Textiles. I'm a hand weaver and natural dyer. So I do some custom weaving and commission weaving, but mostly weaving for production. And I sell most of my work through my website, but at this time have some work in the annual members exhibition at the Craft Council in St. John's, and in their gallery. I have some pieces as well that are for sale. Yes, so I do most of my marketing and sales through my own website. So things haven't changed too much in that regard. The major change was every autumn I usually go on a teaching tour,
Mhm.
and I kind of try to tack on shows and exhibits and artist talks and teaching all in this 1 month period
Mhm.
and do it all at once. So I just have to leave home once.
Smart.
So that's usually every September. But of course I canceled that month of work. But a lot of things, of course, moved online. So some of the events are still taking place, and I'm still speaking and doing some teaching, but they're all going to occur online in February or March now instead. So that's a different thing than I'm used to, but that's good. It's a new little challenge. And I actually one of the ongoing collaborative projects I work on is teaching natural dye through distance, and I've been doing that for about 5 or 6 years in collaboration with a wool mill in southern Alberta, and we noticed a huge spike in our attendance, and we probably taught somewhere around 150 to 200 people a year how to naturally dye, start their dye plants from seeds and tend them and grow them and dye, and then do a knit along at the end. And we've had probably double that this year. So that's an interesting piece of data.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the other business, my partner and I, my husband and I started, we did a soft launch in the spring of our small farm and apothecary. And with that, we started organizing quarterly makers and gardeners markets. So the first one was in September. We held it outside. People were masked. We had live music and a pop-up bakery and coffee shop. There were craftspeople and farmers and gardeners. We had all of our apothecary items, so body butters and infused oils, lip balms, and soaps, all made with botanicals from our garden and from the land and with seawater. And we had produce and eggs. There was some honey and candles, and so people stuck around. It was great. It was, because it was outside, it was very easy to navigate the COVID regulations. And then our most recent one was just this past Sunday, and we still made it work. We had it inside. We did contact tracing, minimal. We, instead of cutting the capacity in half, we took it down to a third, even just because we weren't sure if regulations were going to change again. So we kept the bodies in the building at a minimum. But we also had live music, and there was again a pop-up coffee shop and bakery, and it was great. And we have we're organizing those quarterly. So the next one's coming in the spring, and then we'll have another in the summer. And yeah, so adaptations, every vendor has to have their PPE on and hand sanitizer. There's hand sanitizer at the door, and masks for sale or for giveaway if people would want that.
And where in the Codroy are you, Megan?
In the valley, we are in Millville. Yeah, so Codroy is one of the communities in the valley, and we often hear people refer to the valley as the Codroy, but it's the valley. And Codroy is one of the communities, kind of not quite at the end of the road, but you go up toward one of our lighthouses and it's there. And I'm in Millville near E.W. Gale's store.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, my parents' house is right here too. I was born and brought up right here, have built a little house off the grid up the hill and across the road from them, and that's where our farm is as well.
Excellent.
Cool.
I should have had you on my session last night. I was doing climate change on behalf of the Federation for Federation of Agriculture. You should join one of my sessions in January. We're asking farmers and producers to share impacts of climate change and what they're seeing.
Yes, yeah, I'd love that. Yeah, that's a major part of our business. We also are beekeepers, and we keep heritage chickens as well, mixed use chickens, and my textiles business is everything's organic, like got certified organic fibers, and I grow all the plant dyes or forage them, and intend that each piece lasts generations, not just, not just for a couple few weeks.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Megan,
Yeah, my second favorite valley, because I live in the valley, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just in the Humber Valley.
Beautiful area.
Megan,
Yeah.
I'm interested in hearing more about some of the things that you're doing as well from a makerspace perspective. Right now, we don't have anyone in the manager position for the makerspace, but when it does reopen, you mentioned that you had a bit of a maker fair, and there's workshops and things that you do. I think that might be something interesting that we could collaborate on. And we also, in the makerspace, eventually we're going to be moving to a new larger space. We have a digital loom as well that you might be interested in seeing. I think it would be something that, so it's a new piece of equipment.
Did you say digital loom?
Yes, yeah.
Like Adobe?
I'm not sure of the details, but we've ordered it in. It's still in the box, but once
Okay.
we get a larger space set up, that'll be one of the new pieces of equipment that's going to be available.
Interesting. And where exactly is that again?
So right now the makerspace is located on Grenfell campus, but there's a new innovation center that's going to be opening up in the I don't know if you're familiar with, in Cornerbrook, right across from the mill. It's a green and white building there's their old HR building. That has we've received government funding to create an innovation center there. So it's in the process now of being renovated, and when that's done, the makerspace and the business incubator will be moving down to that location. And so we'll have a much larger space, and that's when some of the bigger equipment will be available. But
Interesting.
for anyone who hasn't seen, Megan's textiles are beautiful. They're really gorgeous. And we're also a culture hub too, so I'd love to connect with you on that front as well, from the farming perspective.
Yeah, that sounds very interesting. And I also should mention I'm the Newfoundland rep and the vice president for the Guild of Canadian Weavers. So we're really trying to reach out to more weavers on the island, and my colleague, the president of the guild, Danny Ortman, and I are giving a talk in January through the Craft Council. So maybe there's some way we can connect the guilds to that Dobby loom as well, or if you need advice or technical insight to winding and warping and all of that stuff, because it's a whole world.
Absolutely. And any of those events, if you'd like to share that information with me, we can share it out through Navigate as well, because we have a number of makers connected on our social networks.
Cool.
Sure. Yeah. I can
Great.
email. Would you prefer that I email kind of a list?
Sure, that would be great.
Okay. Thanks, Allison.
Yeah, I'll put my email on the side here for you as well.
Sure.
Excellent. That's exciting stuff. Your hands in a lot of different things, Megan. It's interesting you talk about the take up, because I was wondering that. My husband is, backyard gardener, and he's been making bread, and he's, the whole thing, you couldn't find yeast and you couldn't get flour, and, everybody's ordering seeds, and he's wondering what next summer is going to look like. Will people continue with this craft stuff and homemaking stuff, and as if we do get back to the regular work hours and so on. But it'd be nice if some of that stays around for sure.
I hope so. That's one of the hopes that I have. We always order any seeds we need in February. We've done that for over a decade. And so we got in before the rush, but I did notice that all seed suppliers were selling out, and I thought that was a good thing. I'm really happy about that. And hopefully people can further that into seed saving and biosecurity and food security, especially here.
Yeah. He's the same. He's got his catalogs already, and a couple orders have already been placed for his stuff for next year. And just been doing a backyard farming for a long time. Excellent. Thank you, Megan, for sharing. Sheldon's got a note over in chat. Sheldon, I don't know if you want to open up your mic and just add a bit to that. So it looks like you're a public speaker who hasn't been that public. I like that phrase. I think that's really good. So you've had certainly some challenges. But if you want to open up your mic and just say a few words of welcome and anything else. You're still on mute, Sheldon. I'm not sure if you're able to get it going. Okay, no problem. Excellent. So we've got your information there, though, and we've got your contact, which is great. Allison will pull that off. Daphne, do you want to jump on and talk about your new business that you did this year?
Sure, would love to. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Excellent. Well, my background has been in finance and in corporate for almost 30 years now. I'm aging myself here, but last November I lost my job, and then I was going to figured, okay, I'll go back into the corporate world, but then COVID happened. I had a couple of strong leads and was going to probably start a job in March, but then COVID happened. So during that time, I said, okay, what am I going to do now? But realized that a lot of business is going to go online and remote. So my background really is helping companies manage their cash flow through credit and collection and through customer relations. So basically, I led teams up to 20 of credit and collection analyst professionals for large organization. The last company I worked for is here in Newfoundland called Inmarsat, used to be called Stratus. They recruited me here from Toronto, and I ran their credit and collection department here for North America and Latin America. So I had a nice team under me, cash application as well as the collection team, and we've done very well. So my strength really is in building relationship with customers, really identifying customers and understanding why they pay, why they don't pay. And over the years, what I've learned is two reasons why customers don't pay. One is because, well, three reasons. One is because some of them financially overstated themselves and they're just not able to meet the obligation, or there's some characters out there that try to get away with not paying and delay payment, and that's something you can avoid. But as soon as you identify that as a professional, you know how to deal with that and you move forward. And the third, really, which is the biggest issue, is internal discrepancies within invoicing. A lot of companies send out invoices, or the good example at Inmarsat, we had a billing platform that over the years they've acquired so many companies, and none of the billing system were talking to each other. So many times invoices were billed wrong, data was billed wrong. So a lot of customers, large customers, weren't able to pay. And I'll give you an example: a company like Boeing, who on my receivables, I would have up to 10 million a month, sometimes up to 25 million a month that I needed to collect by the end of the month. And if an invoice for $2-3 million was not billed correctly, they were not able to partially pay an invoice. They had to get that invoice credited and rebuild. So my style is really proactive. I work in a proactive mode, and as soon as an invoice is sent to the customer, I would have my team send a really soft email just saying, Mr. Customer, just to confirm that you received invoice 1234, and will let us know if there's any issues. Otherwise, we expect payment by the due date. So basically, that's my background. So what I've decided, instead of going back to the corporate world, which I've been in the last 30 years, I said, why don't I try and be my own consulting company? And that's what I've been doing since. So I kind of got into that. I was introduced to Enlo back in, I think it was, I know I got approved for the development stage a day before my birthday. So it was in July. And then I had the 10 weeks. I worked closely with Enlo, put up my business plan and so forth, and then finally got approved to actually operate my business in October. So I've been, and since then, I'm basically just, what I've been doing since even during that time is just trying to understand how to lead generate. I've never actually been a salesperson. I always saw myself as an extension of sales and more of a customer relation type of an individual. But my challenge, and going back to what are the biggest challenges that I'm facing in 2020 that I've and still facing, is really how do I expose myself to the business community? How do I really offer my services? I've got so much to offer. I also speak 3 languages. I'm a certified credit professional. I've took a course. I'm a certified consultant now, business consultant, and my passion is really to help companies and individuals succeed from a cash flow perspective. I'm also looking to branch off into, there's a lot of young people, a lot of young individuals going to university and coming out of university and don't know how to manage money. I started my career at the bank and in the collection department, collecting on student loans and credit cards. And there was a lot of individuals that actually, I'll never forget a couple of experiences, a couple of clients that finished university and were doctors and couldn't get a mortgage because their credit rating was really darnished, because they received a $500 credit limit during university and went and partied and spent money and enjoyed the university life, and never thought, I'll pay for it later. But what people don't understand is all you need to do is pay the minimum. Of course, it's better for you to pay the full balance, because otherwise you're paying you're paying a lot more for what you bought, because interest is at 28% or so, some crazy amount. But in order to maintain your credit rating, minimum, just pay the minimum. Sometimes it's $10, or depends what the minimum is for each card. Make sure that is paid every month, and try to, of course, pay as much as you can as you go along, so you don't end up with a $1,000 bill a few years down the road. So my passion is helping people, and I'm just trying still to figure out, Carol, as I've joined your group. I'm with Enlo. I'm going to be joining the Board of Trade in January, and I'm just trying to really understand, how do I market myself. Now, how do I overcome? My emotions go up and down like this. I'm sure everybody experienced that, especially being new. And I'm just used to going to work and have a paycheck every 2 weeks. I don't have to worry about that. But right now, I have to really work hard to learn how do I get myself out, because I've got so much to offer to small, large, and medium-sized companies. It doesn't matter what size company you are. I can help you with your cash flow, and especially collecting from your customers. So, and I guess lesson learned for me is just network. I think that's the important. I'm fairly new to Newfoundland. I've only been here for 4.5 years, but I've never been in the business community. I've always, been in the corporate world, and that was my world. That was my network. But now I'm getting to know people such as yourselves, and trying to find out ways to get myself out there, and people to have communication, kind of I guess promote myself. I'm not a big promoter of myself. It's just I've never had to do that before, so learning to do that. So yeah, joining a team like yours, a group like yours, is really really fun.
Excellent, that's great. And for those who don't know, Daphne, you're in St. John's, but obviously the type of work you're doing, you could connect with people across the province. The networking is really what this ecosystem coffee break is about. It started sort of informally. We actually started as a pilot in January to do a virtual connection based on research of the entrepreneur ecosystem. And so when COVID came down, we had already had 3 months virtually under our belt between Allison and I, and we were able to keep her going all year. So I'm quite excited. We've been doing this now for a year. I think we only missed 1 month in the summer. So, and hats off. And I think there's some of you on here who've been on almost every one of them. I'm looking at Andrew, who I think has been on almost every one of ours. So appreciate the support for that. But thank you, Daphne, for coming on and networking. I think that's what it's about, is getting to know people and passing on names and making connections like we are today.
Yeah. And I'd like to add one more thing, is artificial intelligence is the way to go in the near future, especially now with remote working. So if anyone knows of a company that's struggling with their collection of their cash flow, please let me know. I'm also working with a company that has established an artificial intelligence system that helps companies do the legwork, like sending emails to customers based on algorithms that is built into the system, that you don't have to pick up the phone no more. You don't have to have someone out there sending you emails. It's all systematically. Then you can have one person managing the ones that haven't responded. So you're really, really becoming much more efficient. So that is an excellent. So I'm working with a company, and I'm just about to do a contract with them and try and bringing them into Canada. They're working in the U.S. and out in Europe and in Asia. So I'm trying to kind of bring them into here, and I think it will be a great asset to many companies, small, large, again, small, medium, and large.
Excellent. Yeah, certainly cash flow as a small business owner is something that keeps us going. I know Jeanette and I have had these conversations in another group that we belong with about the ups and downs of cash flow. So,
well, cash is king, and that's the name of my company. Cash is king. If you don't have cash, you kind of, I don't know, you're going to struggle, obviously. So cash is king.
Excellent. Allison, I think you wanted to jump in there.
Yes, just wondering if you have a website and social media links.
Well, yeah, thank you for asking that. I've applied for the NADI, for the BTS funding, and I just got an email yesterday that they're reviewing my application, and I already have a vendor lined up to help me with that, because that's exactly what's my challenge has been in 2020. I can't really, it's very hard to me approach potential client, and if I can't send them to a website or you know, even social media, and I don't want to do it on my own and just not do it right. So I'm hoping that, but I'm hoping that funding will come through. But when I came on, you also meant, I saw in the first slide, there was also other funding you were talking about. In case I don't get that funding, I definitely would like, who should I talk to about this funding you mentioned?
The government website, the small business support program, and I can share that info here in chat as well.
Okay.
But yeah, the deadline for that one's the 22nd. So, but from what I, it's a very quick and easy application, and people are getting approved very, very quickly as well.
Really? Oh, okay.
I'll put the link in chat.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time getting to the. I'm seeing the chats from Jeanette, but I'm going to see how do you set it from? What do I set from everybody? I think 13. Oh, there. Okay, there we go. I think I see it now. Okay, very good. I will look in there. Thank you very much, guys.
Also, if as soon as you do have something ready, website-wise and social media-wise, let me know, and I can include you on the website as well.
Okay, very good. I will.
Excellent. Kelly, I'm going to throw to you next. Do you want to say a quick hello? I know you're in the early stages, but let everyone know who you are, where you are, and what you're at.
Sure. I'm Kelly Lynn, and I'm in Pasadena. Back in March, I was working with the town of Pasadena, and of course with COVID, things sort of took a downturn, and now I'm looking for work for myself now. I do have a business idea that I'm working on currently, trying to hopefully in the new year get something started. And yeah, that's about it right now.
So lots of challenges for sure. I'm sure Kelly, trying to navigate starting a business is challenging enough, but in COVID times, trying to connect with people and move that forward has to be an extra challenge for sure.
It is, and I guess like Daphne, you know, when you're working for the last so many years and just having a regular job, you go to work, you come home, trying to move forward out of that is very challenging.
It is a lot more challenging than I expected, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's you really have to. I'm a very strong person, but you really have to. And it's, I guess, the scary world when you don't have an income coming in on a regular basis. I've never had that before. I've always had a really good income, and I just knew where I'm going. But not having that is it's scary. But I'm hopeful, you know, and I'm excited about getting to know the business community and working with, really getting to know Newfoundland and the business community. I'm really excited about that part. Hopefully, once that gets going.
Yeah, I always say I'm only as good as my last contract, so things could be going well today, but that doesn't mean there's a contract coming next. And Sheldon's nodding his head, going, "Yep, been there." So you know, you do approach things a little differently. You manage that money a little differently, and but I absolutely love. I gotta say, I love being an entrepreneur. Never really thought I would be, but certainly love it. But thank you, Kelly. I think this is your second time jumping in with us, so it's nice to get you part of the community and connecting. With the folks that are here. These folks can help you and support you. Certainly Allison's got connections through a lot of the support agencies. And there's a lot of good folks I've met over the last couple of years for sure.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that you reached out to me to join as well. And I know there's been a couple people saying to me, you know, you got to join these groups, they're really good. And every time, now only the second time I've joined in, there's always been something that's triggered me to say, yeah, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
No,
thanks
it's a
for
great
that.
group. It's a great group, I
Yeah.
must admit.
Kelly,
Excellent,
do
thank
feel
you.
free to reach out. I'll put my I'll put all of our contact information for our social media, for everything to subscribe to our different lists in here as well, so that you can, you know, stay abreast of any new and upcoming events. But also do reach out to me personally if you'd like some support.
Thank you.
And speaking of support, we've got Monsieur Hibbert out on the peninsula. I don't actually know where you're actually physically located. I think you're in mainland, aren't you?
Yes, our office is located out in the French/community center, or French school/community center out in mainland. Hi everyone. My name is Andrew Hibbets, and I'm an economic development officer for the west coast of Newfoundland with Red A TNL. So usually I say we're a francophone economic development organization. But lately we're trying to get in the habit of staying a bilingual economic development organization, because while our primary focus is to help francophone and bilingual francophone and bilingual people, we also have benefits that can help, for example, anglophone. You know, if you have business and you're looking for ways to attract the francophone market, or you're looking to hire that kind of thing, we can help you with that. So we actually have a fairly large mandate with regards. We have, you know, employment, entrepreneurship, immigration, and tourism. So for example, when you go to newfoundlandlabrador.com, the tourism website, and you click on the, you know, to select French as language, it redirects you to our website, exploretnl.ca. And we also do the French tour guide, the book, you know. So yeah, basically, so it's just me on the West Coast. We have most of my coworkers are on the East Coast in St. John's, and we also have economic development officer in Labrador, in Lab City. And yeah, so I started the job during the pandemic, so that was quite the adventure. I think it was late April I started, so we were like pretty well, you know, in the heart of it then. And it's still a lot of unknown, and you know, there's still a lot of unknown today, but it was certainly, you know, interesting. And I've been so grateful for networking opportunities such as, you know, the and stuff like that, because, you know, it's helped a lot to network and reach out to contacts all over. So thank you, Carol and Allison, for organizing that, because it's been great.
And Andrew, sorry, I speak French as well.
Okay.
I definitely would like to connect with you. Maybe I can even volunteer and help in some way.
Absolutely.
And practice my French, because it used to be my second language, but I haven't spoken to it very much, so it's my third language now. But I would love to help and volunteer if you need that.
Yes, and I'd love to help you with your business too.
Oh, thank you. So let's connect.
Jeanette, you have a question?
Oh, sorry.
Yes, the Genesis, is this something that I could apply for if I'm looking to set up a website and get some training to manage that website? Is this funding? Is this where I could apply for that kind of funding?
Sorry, no, the Genesis program, it's more for
Startups,
the
I think.
early startup. Really, it's about developing your business model and coming up with a functional business plan. And it's normally the tech focus. That said, TechNL had a grant to help businesses with the digitization process. That recently closed, but I do believe they may be opening that up again. It was so well received that I kind of, you know, I've heard that there's potential that may be offered again. So I would keep checking the TechNL website for their business support program.
Okay, because I was just a little bit late for that one, apparently. It closed like a day or a week or so before I got it in.
I think, yeah, I've heard that it was well received, and they're attempting to continue it, but for now, I don't think it's been extended yet.
Yeah, that's what I've heard as well, Jeanette. The gentleman over there said they're probably looking at it in the spring. So definitely we can connect and try and help get you something in there. I've been fortunate. I've been able to get some funding through that, and I know of a few others that have as well. So hopefully it'll continue.
You might want to check with the CBDC as well. I don't know if their CAS program might be able to help with that if they still have some funding available. Occasionally there's potential there for support.
Did you call it the CAST program?
CAS. And
Consultant Advisory Services, Jeanette, CAS.
Okay. Perfect.
The other thing that's available, Jeanette, is the Canada Job Grant, which I know you've looked at before.
Yeah.
For some of your professional development training, but the Canada Job Grant provides up to $10,000 per employee per year of training funding that's available. So if you wanted to take a course, like as opposed to hiring somebody to do it, that would be under the consultancy piece. But if you wanted some training for you, you could possibly look at the Canada Job Grants program.
Is that through the LAMPS? That's through LAMPS?
Through the LAMPS, yeah.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
With, whatever their new name is now.
Yeah.
Immigration, Skills and Labor. I think they are ISL now.
What's that? Gardner Center has a lot of great courses that work with that. I just applied for one and I got approved.
Yeah, excellent.
Excellent.
Megan,
Yeah.
go sell. Thanks for joining us today. And thank you for all the info. It sounds like you got some really exciting things. I think both Allison and I are going to be in touch with you again.
Thank you. Yeah, I look forward to that. I'm excited to be able to meet with you guys, and I'm happy to help out with that Dobby Loom and anything I can do out this way, or help connect people. Let me know, because that's also part of our mandate through the garden is community networking, and I put a little note in there about the studio we're building in the spring too.
Yeah, that looks exciting.
Thanks. Yeah, we're excited about that too. So
excellent. Well, you have a great day. Thanks so much for joining.
Yeah, and Andrew, I left you my phone number on the chat. Did you get that?
Oh, excellent. I'll just make sure before I leave.
Well, Allison will put everything together in a follow-up email. So any information that you folks have done, we're taking your implicit permission to share.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I'd like to contact with Andrew and of course,
yeah. So Andrew's got his information there as well. So he'll put that out. But the real benefit, I think, of the virtual piece is reaching beyond Corner Brook and Pasadena. So it's so great to have the Valley and the Port and St. John's and, sort of every point in between. So that's the exciting piece for us. And I know from Allison's funders point, they're excited to kind of see how her reach is beyond just her campus in Corner Brook. So that's always good.
For sure. Yeah. I'll put our information here before I check out too. But we're really easy to track down. My website is livetextiles.online, and our Facebook for our farm is Gadalisibu Gardens, which is the Mi'kmaq name for our big river here. But I'll type it. So.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, you don't need to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Last but not least is Charlene. I know Charlene's on a call, so she put a blurb in the chat. Charlene's with the Grenfell campus and does professional development training and different pieces there. So she's always looking for ideas of topics if there's any training that you need. So she has that in chat as well. But Charlene, I'm going to give you a chance in case you're there.
Sheldon did as well, Carol. There was a blurb there.
Yep, Sheldon's given a blurb and he's, see you, Megan. Sheldon gave a blurb and there's construction and stuff going on in his building, so he wasn't able to open up his mic. But we've got that he's a public speaker who hasn't been able to connect with the public too much. I like that line, Sheldon. So I'm sure things have changed. I know he's put his camera on a couple of times. We've been able to see him there. So I think we've gone through everyone and ran around. I've been very fortunate. I've been in the virtual space for, there you are, Sheldon, great. I've been in the virtual space for 8 years. So for me personally, there wasn't much of a change when the whole world shut down on March 16th. There was about a week or two of quiet, and then everybody realized, oh my goodness, we still need to do something. So I've been very fortunate in that. I think probably the biggest challenge though is I'm an extrovert, and I really miss, as much as I enjoy the virtual world and I thrive in it, I miss going for coffee. My family jokes with me all the time and says, Mom, man, you don't drink coffee, but you go for coffee a lot. So, because I just really enjoy connecting with people in person as well. So that's probably been my biggest, it's more of a personal mental challenge than business challenge. I've been extremely fortunate with the support that people have given me throughout the last year. And
Can relate.
I love meeting new people. So I think the virtual space has actually opened up different markets and different people. So that's been exciting as well. So again, awfully fortunate to do. What else do we have? I all said anything else?
That's about it. I put this information over in chat as well, but as I mentioned, follow us on social media, subscribe to our mailing list if you haven't already, and stay tuned for the new website launch. There's going to be a ton of tools that I'm sure everyone's going to find beneficial. And do reach out to me if you have any specific questions about your business. Feel free to tag us on social media if you'd like us to share specials, promos, any information you have about your business that we can get out to the community for you. We're here to help. And we're really grateful that everyone joined today. And, we all made it through 2020. That in itself, I think, is a bit of a triumph, even though it's been hard. Again, I think with the new vaccine rolling out now, there is a lot of hope for everyone, and I think 2021 we're all going to bounce back, and it's going to be a year to remember for all the right reasons.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
And I think well, we've done some workshops on resilience and starting a business in a pandemic, but I really think that's what's going to rise is our resiliency. We're here, we're safe, we're healthy. We've got people like Jeanette taking care of our safety. We've got, supports in our network, both personally and professionally. And I think our resilience is going to shine through. And so on that, I will wish you all a Merry Christmas, Joyeux Noël, and have everyone be healthy, safe, and happy. And we'll see you again in January for our next coffee break. So thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Stay safe, everybody. Take care.
Everyone, Merry Christmas.